Pokemon Ranger! I choose you!
What's up guys, it's your Pokemon Ranger Boy here and welcome to another review of the Pokemon X, Y and Z anime. Today guys, we're tackling episode 10, which is called Bonnie and Puni-Chan. And this episode guys, was so emotional. In my opinion, this is one of the most emotional episodes in the whole Pokemon X, Y and Z anime so far. And I just loved it. I just loved the whole atmosphere. I loved all the feelings the crew have been going through during this episode, and I can't wait to tell you about this episode. So without further ado guys, let's start with the actual review, shall we? So guys, as you all know from the last episode, the crew is still searching for Puni-Chan, and of course, especially Bonnie is really worried about Puni-Chan. You could see from her expression alone that she's really worried about Puni-Chan and that she desperately wants to protect Puni-Chan with all might. And she's so worried about her little friend that she even can't eat properly. And not only that, but instead of eating properly, she really wanted to search for Puni-Chan during the night, although the crew knows that Team Flare is also after Puni-Chan and that it's really dangerous to search for Puni-Chan alone. And of course, Clement as her brother stops her and tries to calm her down, but then she just breaks in tears and just couldn't hold back anymore. She just desperately wants her little friend back. But what the crew don't know is actually the fact that Puni-Chan is secretly watching them. And after Bonnie has fallen asleep, the rest of the crew is discussing if Puni-Chan might have run away from the crew. But they all realize that Puni-Chan is also part of the crew, that Puni-Chan is their friend, and that like Bonnie, they also want to protect Puni-Chan with all costs. But not only Puni-Chan, but also Team Flare has been spying on the crew, due to the fact that with the help of the XY gang, they can detect Puni-Chan more easily. So after the next day has started, the gang has continued to search for Puni-Chan. And of course, Clement as a responsible brother tries to help Bonnie by inventing another crazy machine, which seems to be like some kind of a Puni-Chan cell detecting machine, which also, obviously enough, also looks like Puni-Chan itself. And with this machine, he tries to find Puni-Chan. And actually guys, this invention actually worked. But unfortunately, this invention also got crashed by Team Rocket. And after it got damaged by Team Rocket, it also broke and angered some white Toxicroak. And because of that, those Toxicroak are chasing the crew, who of course don't know what's actually going on. But without any hesitation, they had to run away from those Toxicroak. But more unfortunately is that the crew is reaching dead end and also falling from a cliff. And although it seems like that everybody would be safe at first, Serena couldn't manage to actually catch Bonnie. And because of that, Bonnie is falling and seems to be in a really dangerous situation. But luckily enough, Bonnie will be protected Bonnie so that she won't get injured that bad. But unfortunately, instead of Bonnie, Bumblebee really got injured bad. And of course the gang immediately recognized this heavy injury of Bumblebee, and they are straight up going to the next Poké Center as soon as possible and trying to heal Bumblebee. But unfortunately, Bumblebee can't be healed without a certain herb or flower. And because of that, Bonnie really feels responsible for this injury. So that's why this little girl tries to search for this herb by herself without the help of the other guys. While Bumblebee is being injured, we can see Puni-Chan argumenting with another Zygarde core about the human race in general, and that in the opinion of Z2, the humans only cause chaos in colors. But Puni-Chan disagrees, and I think that Puni-Chan even got a little bit faith in the human race. And maybe that's why Puni-Chan has always watched over Bonnie and the crew, because he thinks that this gang really is something special, and that they are not the reason for the future Carlos chaos. And you can see Bonnie being in really dangerous situations. For example, she's single-handedly climbing a huge stone wall and also entering a really dark forest, and also got attacked by several Scolipeds. But luckily enough for Bonnie, the gang has reached her in time and rescues her. Although Clement was really angry at Bonnie at the beginning, he suddenly realized that Bonnie feels really guilty for Bumblebee's injury, and because of that he couldn't be angry at her for long. And of course he also understands her feelings, but he also tells her that she's not alone, and because of that the whole gang is now searching for this special herb to heal Bumblebee. But before they even could start to continue their search, suddenly Team Rocket appears and tries to catch Pikachu like always. So while Ash and Serena are fighting against Team Rocket, Bonnie and Clement are still searching for this herb to finally heal Bumblebee. And of course they finally have found it. but the problem is they couldn't reach it properly. And while trying to reach this herb, we can also see how Puni-Chan is still watching them, and how Puni-Chan also realizes that this gang is trustworthy and that they can't be compared with Team Flare. And because of that, in the end, Puni-Chan helps Bonnie to finally reach this herb. So in the end, everything is okay. Bumblebee in the end gets healed and everything seems to be fine. And not only that, but suddenly Dedenne discovers Puni-Chan in Bonnie's bag, and of course Bonnie is really happy to be reunited with her little friend again, and that she won't let him go again, and of course that she will protect Puni-Chan with Arcas. And that, guys, this is the story of today's episode. So guys, I know this story doesn't really sound special, but if you haven't watched it, you didn't really have experienced the feelings and the emotions within this episode. So that's why let's go straight into the rating. How can I rate the story? Of course, the story was so emotional, guys. You could see how Bonnie desperately wanted to get Puni-Chan back, in how many kind of emotions Bonnie had to go through to finally get reunited with Puni-Chan. Also that Puni-Chan realizes that this gang is not like Team Flare and that you can trust this gang. Also, of course, I really like the dramatic moment with Bumblebee when Bumblebee really got injured, and that Bonnie even took more responsibility on her shoulders and tries to do everything by herself. But in the end, she realizes that accepting help is no sign of weakness, but it's just a sign that you have good friends by your side and that you can do everything if you do it together. And because of that, this story, all these emotions, this message, and all those feelings, I really love today's episode when it comes to story, when it comes to development, when it comes to the feelings and the emotions. And because of it, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It was just beautiful. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's just, I had several tears in my eyes, honestly. It was beautiful. What can I say about the focus? Of course, the focus is obviously Bonnie and Puni-Chan, because the title also is Bonnie and Puni-Chan, simple as that, and you don't need more for a focus. The title said it alone, Bonnie and Puni-Chan. The focus just concentrates on the relationship between Bonnie and Puni-Chan, that Bonnie really desperately tries to get Puni-Chan back, that she wants to protect Puni-Chan with all costs. I just loved how you could see that Puni-Chan didn't trust the humans in general at first, but when Puni-Chan realized that the XY gang is really something special, that those guys are family, friends, and that you can trust them, and that in the end Puni-Chan has reunited with Bonnie and that their bond even has tightened more, and because of that, this focus was perfect, guys. But unfortunately I can't give it a full score due to the fact that the main parts of the story were kind of predictable, but I still just love the bonding between Puni-Chan and Bonnie, and that I just love the struggle not only between them but also within them, and I just love it. But it still deserved a high rating, so I give it a 9 out of 10. What can I say about the animation, guys? Unfortunately, this episode was really full of emotions and full of feelings and messages, but there wasn't any animation highlights in this episode. The animation was of course good as always, really high quality standard. There was nothing to complain about, but there wasn't any highlighting moments at all. So unfortunately, guys, I have to give it a low score, but I think I will give it a good 5 out of 10. So in the end, this episode gets a solid 8 out of 10 with the recommendation, guys. It's just so wonderful, guys. When it comes to story, when it comes to emotions, when it comes to the message of friendship, of family, and of trust. You have to watch it if you really want to bond more with the gang and with Puni-Chan, and it's just wonderful. Oh, the feelings. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's review. So bye guys, and see you in my next video.